Maz. हजुर म पुनः फेरि सुरु गर्न गइरहेको छु। नमस्कार, यहाँ उपस्थित सम्पूर्णमाझ आज मे 19, 2022 अर्थात् ग्लोबल एक्सेसिबिलिटी अवेयरनेस डे ग्याड नेपालमा पहिलो पटक नेपाल इन्टरनेट फाउन्डेसनको आयोजनामा यहाँ उपस्थित सम्पूर्ण महानुभाव व्यक्तित्वहरू समक्ष मनाउन गइरहेका छौं। यही क्रममा यहाँ उपस्थित सम्पूर्णलाई स्वागत गर्दै म लिपासा श्रेष्ठ नेपाल इन्टरनेट फाउन्डेसनको सेक्रेटरी जेनरलको रूपबाट स्वीकार्नुहोस् न्यानो अभिवादन। हजुर, ग्याड अर्थात् ग्लोबल एक्सेसिबिलिटी डे को बारेमा थोरै जानकारी हजुरहरूमाझ दिन गइरहेको छु। ग्याड पहिलो पटक 2011 मा सञ्चालन भएको थियो। ग्याडले चाहिँ अपाङ्गता भएका व्यक्तिहरूका लागि डिजिटल पहुँच र समावेशीकरणको केन्द्रीय जागरुकता दिवसको रूपमा मनाइन्छ। ग्याडले बेसिकली फोकस गर्ने चाहिँ हाम्रो डिजेबिलिटी भएका पिपल विथ डिजेबिलिटीले चाहिँ ग्याडले फोकस गर्दछ र यस कार्यक्रमको आतिथ्यताका रूपमा हामीले Ganesh Shah as a former president of Environment, Science and Technology लाई आसन ग्रहण यथा शीघ्रै आसन ग्रहण गरिदिनु हुन हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछु।
धन्यवाद लिपासाजी, अगाडि बढौँ है त।
हजुर, धन्यवाद सर। उहाँको थोरै इन्फर्मेसन दिन जाँदैछु। उहाँ Ganesh Shah is a former Minister of Environment, Science and Technology. Mr. Shah is a mechanical engineer from professional and received his MTech in 1973. Shah was appointed as a Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology when the cabinet was extended. Mr. Shah is the advocate of the climate change issue in Nepal and has been quoted in various media outlets during his time. यसै गरी हाम्रो स्पेशल गेस्टको रूपमा हुनुहुन्छ, we have as a special guest we have Gunilla S. Brick. Sorry if I mispronounced. She is the chair of Internet Society Accessibility Special Interest Group A11YSIG. She has been active in disability and technology research and policy for over 25 years, and has organized workshops at national, regional, and global IGFs. She is a member of the APR-IGF multi-stakeholder steering group. Gunilla was also the director of Internet Australia for about 10 years. So I would like to welcome Gunilla Abstract in today's GAD program, where we are celebrating the first time Global Accessibility Awareness Day in Nepal with the organization with the help of Nepal Internet Foundation, Nepal. Welcome to the program, Gunilla. Along with that, I would also like to welcome Sadi Abu Zara. Let me know if I mispronounce your name. Please let me know so that I can correct it. He is the Accessibility Strategy and Technology Specialist. Until 30 September 2021, Sadi worked with the W3C. So that means Worldwide Web Consortium Web Accessibility Initiative, WAI, as the Accessibility Strategy and Technology Specialist. He coordinated accessibility priorities in the W3C strategy team, as well as international promotion, coordination, and harmonization of web accessibility standards. Sadi also mentioned WAI license with key stakeholders, including disability, research, and standard organizations, as well as coordinated WAI outreach in Europe accessibility evaluation techniques and Europe Funds project on accessibility. Along with this,
do you want to make money but can't?
Sorry for this. Yes, I would like to welcome you in this program as well. Along with this, I would like to welcome Mr. Bikram Shrestha, the President of Nepal Internet Foundation, as in this GAD program organized by Nepal Internet Foundation itself. And I would also like to welcome all the participants and the members from FWIN as well, who have joined this program to make a success of Global Accessibility Awareness Program that has been held for the first time in Nepal. Moving on, I would like to continue the program with the welcome speech. And I would like to hand over the mic to Mr. Bikram Shrestha, the President of Nepal Internet Foundation, for his short welcome speech. Thank you.
Thank you, MC Dipasa Shrestha. Thank you very much. Welcome everyone in this jointly organized event of Global Accessibility Awareness Day Nepal. Global Accessibility Awareness Day, we had been organizing this first time in Nepal, and globally this today is 19th May 2022 is the Global Accessibility Awareness Day. And Nepal Internet Foundation and Disability Care Nepal jointly and initiatives to Digital Inclusion Nepal is going to celebrate this Global Accessibility Awareness Day in Nepal is first time, and it will be a joyful event with chief guest, our ministry for formal ministry for environment, science and technology, Mr. Ganesh Shah, following a useful discussion on the disability on digital accessibility of services in Nepal. So this is kind of just awareness and capacity building. Just we want to highlight this Accessibility Awareness Day in Nepal by providing some information regarding the disability and how the disability are, having this access in internet, and we want to focus on the Nepal Internet Foundation is purely focused on having this inclusion kind of topic or to promote in Nepal. So and this is just one initiation. Thank you, Gunela, and thank you, our former ministry, Ganesh Shah. With the short notice, we had able to make this event happen with your support and your guidance. Whenever we want to have our event in Nepal, and Ganesh Shah sir is every time encouraging us to have this kind of support. So thank you everyone. Thank you everyone participation over here. Almost the 20 participation are here, but I think it's going to increase because we want to start with on time. That's why we started. But in Nepali, we used to say in Nepali time, So let's have exact time and we start this project. र म अहिले के पनि भन्न चाहन्छु भने यो एउटा इनिसिएसन मात्रै हो। हामीले यो सुरु गरेको इनिसिएसन जुन अहिले अब डिजिटल नेपालको जुन अहिले परिकल्पना गरेर गभर्नमेन्टले अगाडि गरिरहेको छौँ र डिसेबिलिटी एउटा वान अफ द चाहिँ के भन्छ जुन आफ्नो इच्छाले डिसेबल हुने होइन कि अब यो एउटा सर्कमस्टेन्सेसले चाहिँ डिसेबल हुने भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि हामीले के भन्छ इक्वल एक्सेस इन्भाइरोमेन्ट दिनुपर्छ र इक्वल्ली चाहिँ सम्मान अथवा चाहिँ के भन्छ एउटा इक्वल पार्टिसिपेसन गराउन सक्ने वातावरण बनाउनु पर्छ भन्ने खालको एउटा कार्यक्रम हामीले सुरु गर्न गइरहेको छौँ। योभन्दा अगाडि पनि हामीले यो डिसेबिलिटीसँग मिलेर चाहिँ धेरैवटा कार्यक्रमहरू गरिसकेको छौँ र आज हामीले ग्लोबल एक्सेसिबिलिटी अवेरनेस डे मनाउँदै क्रममा चाहिँ 10 प्रकारको डिसेबिलिटीहरू हुँदो रहेछ, जस्तो कान नसुनी, आँखा नदेखिने, बोल्न नसकिने, राम्रोसँग हिँड्न नसकिने, पार्शियल के भन्छ ब्लाइन्ड हुने, त्यो डिफ्रेन्ट काइन्डको एक्सेसिबिलिटीलाई हामीले अब एक्सेस टु फाइनेन्सको कुरा गर्ने अथवा चाहिँ भौगोलिक अथवा इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरको कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि नेपालमा पूर्वाधारहरू चाहिँ त्यो अनुसारको नबनेको कम्पेयर टु डेभलप कन्ट्री, हामी डेभलपिङ कन्ट्रीको कन्टेक्स्टमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि यो चिज चाहिँ हामीमा धेरै कमी कमजोरीहरू भएको कारणदाखेरि यो अवेरनेस एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ। अवेरनेस भन्ने चिज चाहिँ हामीले टाइम एन्ड अगेन यो दिँदै जाने क्रममा अथवा चाहिँ बुझाउने क्रममा यो कार्यक्रमहरू गर्ने सुरुवात गर्न थाल्यो भने चाहिँ एटलिस्ट के न के हदसम्ममा हामीहरू एउटा सानो इफोर्टले इभन डिसेबिलिटीहरूलाई चाहिँ एउटा हौसला मिल्छ भन्ने कार्यक्रमका साथ मैले यो सानो वेलकम रिमार्क्स अथवा सबैलाई चाहिँ स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु यस कार्यक्रममा। र हामीले यो कार्यक्रम एउटा छोटो समयको प्रिपरेसनमा सुरु गरेको कारणले गर्दाखेरि मैले सबैलाई चाहिँ के भन्छ स्वागत गर्नु नै पर्छ र थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच भन्नु पनि पर्छ। ओभर टु लिपासा एमसी।
थ्याङ्क यू विक्रम श्रेष्ठज्यू। हजुर, उहाँले छोटो मन्तव्य दिँदै आजको यस कार्यक्रमको उद्देश्य पनि झल्काउनु भइसकेको छ। ग्लोबल एक्सेसिबिलिटी अवेरनेस डे को बारेमा, यसको महत्त्व र यसको महत्त्व बारेमा यसको अवधारणाहरू पनि उहाँले व्यक्त गरिसक्नु भएको छ। आशा छ हजुरहरूले पनि आज हामीहरूले ग्याड डे ग्लोबल एक्सेसिबिलिटी अवेरनेस डे किन मनाउँदैछौँ, जबकि हामीहरूलाई थाहा छ इक्वालिटी, जबकि वी अल फाइट फर इक्वालिटी फर एभ्रीवान, आइदर दे आर डिसेबल अर एबल पिपल। सो त्यही कारणले गर्दाखेरि पनि इट्स नेभर टु लेट स्टार्ट फर अ न्यू थिङ भने जस्तै 2012 मा लन्च भएको 2012 मा सेलिब्रेट गरेको यो ग्याड डे आज हामी 2022 मा आएर नेपालमा पहिलोपल्ट सुरु गर्दैछौँ र आशा छ हजुरहरूले पनि हामीहरूलाई हातेमालो गर्दै यस कार्यक्रमलाई अन्तिमसम्म साथ दिनुहुन्छ। र यसै मन्तव्यकै क्रमलाई जोड्दै मिस्टर गणेश शाहज्यू, हाम्रो फर्मर मिनिस्टर अफ इन्भाइरोमेन्ट, साइन्स एन्ड टेक्नोलोजी एज अ चिफ गेस्टलाई छोटो चिफ गेस्ट मन्तव्य दिनको लागि हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछु। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद
लिपासा। हजुर।
Thank you very much. I will be speaking in English and Nepali both. Okay. सर्वप्रथम त यो आज हाम्रो इन्टरनेट फाउन्डेसनले जुन यो ग्लोबल एक्सेसिबिलिटी डे जुन मनाउने नेपालमा पनि सुरु गर्नु भएको मलाई यहाँ उपस्थित सबैजनालाई चाहिँ म पुनः हार्दिक अभिनन्दन र अभिवादन गर्न चाहन्छु। अब यो अहिले जब डिजिटली सोसाइटीमा पहिले चाहिँ हामीले यो अपाङ्गता भएको अघि नै विक्रमजी हुनुहुने 10 तारिकको भयो अघि पहिले चाहिँ 3-4 वटा कुरोले मात्र बढी हेर्ने थियो, जस्तै डिफ, ब्लाइन्ड, फिजिकल डिसेबिलिटी अघि। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि के हो भने त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ हामीले फिजिकल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरको बढी गर्यो। अब अहिले के हो भने यो टेक्नोलोजिकल रिभोल्युसन, खास गरी यो डिजिटल अब जब सोसाइटीमा एक्सेसहरू बढ्न थाल्यो, यो एक्सेसहरू चाहिँ कसरी चाहिँ अब डिसेबल पिपललाई चाहिँ एक्सेसिबल गराउने, एभाइलेबल गराउने, एफोर्डेबल गराउने त्यतातिर चाहिँ हामीले काम चाहिँ अगाडि बढाउनु पर्छ। फर्स्ट के हो भने जस्तै म आफ्नै पनि जीवनको अनुभव छ, म मन्त्री हुँदाखेरि जस्तै ब्लाइन्ड हो भनेपछि उसलाई कम्प्युटरमा कुनै कुरो कसरी उसले एक्सेसिबल गरेर चाहिँ पढ्न सक्छ भनेर तपाईँलाई थाहा थियो कि डिफ भनेको डिफरेन्टली एबल्डहरूलाई चाहिँ हामीले साइन ल्याङ्ग्वेजकोबाट चाहिँ कुरोहरू सिकाउने। अहिले जस्तै अघि लिपासाजीले भन्नुभयो अहिले के छ भने धेरै किसिमको एक्सेसिबिलिटी जस्तै अघि विक्रमजीले पनि जोड्नु मेन रूपमा चाहिँ अहिले उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ अब यो के भन्छ भने फिनेन्सियलमा डिजिटली कसरी एक्सेसिबल गर्ने, उसले ब्याङ्कसँग कसरी डिल गर्ने, केही पेमेन्ट गर्नुपर्ने कसरी गर्ने, डक्टर्स कहाँ एपोइन्टमेन्ट लिनु पर्यो कसरी लिने, त्यो डिफ्रेन्ट बेसिकली सर्भिसेसहरू कसरी गर्ने बारेमा चाहिँ अलिकता हामीले चाहिँ पोलिसी इन्टरभेन्सन गभर्मेन्टसँग गर्नुपर्छ। त्यो पोलिसी इन्टरभेन्सन त्यो पहिले उनीहरूको लागि यो कुरोको उपलब्धता हुनु पर्यो। फर्स्ट देयर सुड बी सर्भिसेस एभाइलेबल फर द डिसेबल्ड पिपल। दोस्रो के भने त्यो डिसेबल्डहरूको एक्सेसिबिलिटी गर्नको लागि डिफ्रेन्ट मेहरू जस्तै कनेक्टिभिटी चाहियो भने उसले चाहिँ अब अफिसमा पैसा तिर्नु पर्छ अनलाइन पेमेन्ट गरेर या गभर्मेन्टले त्यस्तो फेसिलिटिजहरू डिसेबल्ड पिपललाई चाहिँ सब्सिडाइज रेट्सहरूमा गर्ने, त्यसैले एभाइलेबल गराइदिनु पर्यो, त्यसलाई एक्सेसेबल हुनु पर्यो र एफोर्डेबिलिटी पनि हुनु पर्यो। भने नर्मल भन्दा चाहिँ डिसेबल्ड पिपलको इन्कम कम हुन्छ, त्यो इन्कममा हेज टु म्यानेज त्यो, त्यसैले योतिर चाहिँ अलिकति हामीले पोलिसी इन्टरभेन्सन गभर्मेन्टसँग डिफ्रेन्ट लेभलको पोलिसी मेकर्ससँग चाहिँ हामी फेडरल गभर्मेन्ट, प्रोभिन्सियल गभर्मेन्ट र अरू गभर्मेन्टसँग पनि अलिकति हामीले त्यसलाई अगाडि बढाउँ। त्यसको सँगसँगै एभाइलेबल टेक्नोलोजीहरू पनि उपलब्ध गराउनेतिरको चाहिँ हामी प्रयास गरौँ र डिसेबल्ड पिपलप्रति चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ अब चाहिँ सम्मानका साथ त्यसलाई अपमानजनक रूपमा हो भने कि त्यसलाई अलिक डिसेबल भएको हुनाले चाहिँ समाजको लागि काम नलाग्ने हो भने कि दे हेभ अल्सो द डिफरेन्ट क्यापेसिटी, वाट दे कल इट द डिफरेन्टली एबल्ड। सो फर द डिसेबल एबल्ड पिपलको लागि जुन ग्लोबल द डेज आर बिङ सेलिब्रेटेड, so we express our solidarity with this global movement. Nepal will be all the time in express their solidarity with our global community. To share or collaborate this or in these sectors so that we can, if there is a software developed somewhere, we can get through the cost, free and open source, we can have the access to all this software. Sorry. So we'll thank again the initiators of this day and wish them all the success in coming day. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. सबैजनालाई धन्यवाद, शुभ सन्ध्या।
धन्यवाद गणेश शाहज्यू, हाम्रो फर्मर मिनिस्टर अफ इन्भाइरोमेन्ट, साइन्स एन्ड टेक्नोलोजी। उहाँले अहिलेको करेन्ट सिनारियोको बारेमा हामीलाई छोटो समयमै विस्तृत गरिदिनु भयो कि डिजिटलाइजेसन हाम्रो अहिले जेनेरेसन, द जेनेरेसन वेयर इज अ डिजिटलाइज जेनेरेसन, जसमा लाइक we walk as a digital, we walk in digital, we talk, we think, we do everything in a digital platform. एउटा सानो एक्जाम्पल लियौँ हामी, एउटा सानो भर्खर जन्मेको बच्चाले पनि आफ्नो युट्युबमा एउटा भिडियो नहेरिकन खाना खाँदैन। that's the scenario at the moment, है। अहिलेको हाम्रो सिनारियो यति डिजिटलाइज भइसक्यो, बट हामी as a developing country, we are still lacking on providing the full platform for the disabled people, where we all do our activities we live in a digital scenario. So त्यही भएर we can also address how important the digitalization is in the current context for everyone. हजुर, धेरै मन्तव्य, अब यही मन्तव्यको क्रमलाई जोड्दै हाम्रो एक्सपर्ट स्पेशलिस्ट, हाम्रो स्पेशलिस्टको रूपमा आउनु भएको छ गुनिला जी। we have Gunila as an expert on this digital Accessibility Awareness, on the day of Global Accessibility Awareness, I would like to hand over this platform to Gunilla so that she can express and she can tell more about the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lupasa. And I like your comment about young people walking and talking digital. It's so true. And of course, we need to ensure that persons with disability are included in this digital world. So thank you for your invitation, Bikram, and your team to speak this evening on Global Accessibility Awareness Day. And you might have already stated this in Nepali, but I will just emphasize that the purpose of GAD is to get everyone talking, thinking, and learning about digital inclusion and people with different disabilities. There are over 150. So congratulations to the Nepal Internet Foundation for organizing this session in a very short time. And of the Global Accessibility Awareness Day, which is a global event, as we know, that shines a light on digital access and inclusion for persons with disability. In fact, this aligns with the Internet Society's Accessibility Standing Group. Our vision is digital inclusion for persons with disability. We're teaming up with the Asia Pacific School of Internet Governance to build disability leadership in digital rights and internet governance, starting in South Asia and of course, including Nepal. The Accessibility Standing Group reach is global though. We are planning webinars for business in bringing greater awareness for business in making digital products accessible. You're all welcome to join the Accessibility Standing Group so we can be an even stronger voice in promoting digital inclusion all across the world. There's no cost, but you need to first become a member of the Internet Society. And while you're on the Internet Society's website, you can take a look at the ISOC Accessibility Toolkit that I developed a while ago, which talks about a number of issues and solutions to accessibility to digital services. I just wanted to also mention, and I think you have covered it a little bit, but I just want to talk about different types of disability. And there are vision impaired people, for example, and they need good color contrast when using apps and websites. And blind people using screen reading programs need alternative text descriptions for meaningful images as one example, and that's only one example. There are many other requirements when it comes to how a blind person can successfully access a website or an app. So then with people who are hard of hearing, needing captioning for video presentations, such as this one, for example, if there were people hard of hearing. And actually captioning is great in any case, because it means that people who have English as a second language can follow the text as well as listening to the speaker, and then follow up with transcripts. Deaf people who cannot hear at all need sign language interpretation, and you can have sign language interpreters as part of a webinar presentation as well. And then people who have physical disability They may not be able to walk very well or use their hands or arms very well. They might need alternative keyboards or eye control, or they might use speech to text software. So there's a lot of various adaptive software and hardware to help people with physical disability type and navigate on their devices. Then people who have different learning disabilities, cognitive impairments, for example, will need to have uncluttered screens, consistent navigation, and the use of plain language. But that actually is good for everyone. And that's where we talk about inclusive design. So if you design something that is accessible and usable by a person with a disability, it's going to be good for everyone. If you think about the built environment, if you have a building with no steps in front of it, it means anyone can get into that building. You don't need to think about that you have to go up steps or down steps. And delivery drivers can get in, anyone can get in more easily. And that's, in American terminology, that's called curb cuts, accessible curb cuts, which is exactly what you can have online too, if you include some of the features I've just mentioned. Now, we're not talking about the small number of people. There are over 1 billion people with disability globally. And that tends to be, and this is according to the World Health Organization, that equates to about 15% of any country's population. And your statistics might say, oh, look, it might be 2%, but it depends on how statistics are measured and how questions are asked. So there might be a question, do you have a disability, for example? And people might say, no, they don't want to admit that they have a disability, or they don't think it's relevant. So they say no. But if you have standard questions on functional limitations instead, then you will get different answers. And there has been a standard set of questions that are devised by the Washington Group on Disability Statistics at the National Center for Health Statistics. And these can be used, as I said, internationally. So for example, the question is, do you have difficulty seeing even when wearing glasses? So then you're going to get more people who are going to say, yes, I actually do. I do find it difficult to read the screen on a phone. And that means I really can't grasp everything on the screen. And so a person like that does have a disability, and there needs to be some features made available to them. So if we go globally, and we need to look at a very important policy instrument called the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability. We're talking about rights of persons here. And in this, there are articles about a lot of different rights, including rights to information and communication technology. Nepal signed in 2008 and ratified this convention in 2010. So that's very encouraging. Ratification is important as it places obligations on the government to abide by the articles in that global convention. Now, it's really good to note that Nepal's Act on the Rights of Persons with Disability, 2017, includes clauses such as the rights to participation in policy making and And so it's a matter of persons with disability having the right to be consulted and to participate in relevant policy making actions and mechanisms that involve them. And the disability movement states nothing about us without us. So that's really important. Also, the Nepal Act mentions the right to information, and this is internet and phone providers shall provide services in accessible formats and a usable manner. So it's very clear that digital accessibility is included in this act. So hopefully this has been implemented, and I'll be interested in comments from participants here. Now, I want to quickly touch on some other useful mechanisms to improve accessibility. Something called accessibility criteria in public procurement. Now, governments are some of the largest purchasers of ICT. If governments require digital services to be accessible based on particular standards and guidelines, potential suppliers are more likely to make their products fulfill those accessibility criteria. And there are standards in USA, Europe, and Australia, and they have an influence. And a number of multinational technology companies have recognized this in their product offerings. So this can have a flow-on effect in the general marketplace, thus benefiting everyone. So it's something that certainly could be considered in Nepal too. So Shadia Abu Sara in the video will very likely speak about the W3C Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. So I won't say very much on that, except to emphasize that it's a fundamental reference point for any digital product or service to be made accessible. Governments often use these guidelines to make their websites accessible. And apps would be relevant here too. Also, let's encourage organizations, be it government bodies or business, to employ persons with disability in IT. But first, disability awareness training for management and staff can overcome many misconceptions about what a person with a disability can do and what might help a person to successfully do their job. But it starts before that with the education system, so that persons with disability are, for example, supported to study STEM subjects, including maths, for example, in school and college. And I'd like to mention Vision Empower, an organization in India that supports girls with vision impairment to study STEM subjects, for example. Excuse me. So everyone can contribute in their own way to increase and enhance accessibility to the internet for persons with disability. So I'd like to thank you very much for the opportunity of sharing some of these ideas with you, and I'm happy to take questions later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gunilla, for your very thoughtful things and the awareness, as well as the rights, the acts you have shared with us, which are very knowledgeable for us, for the one who knows as well, which will, and for one who doesn't know the act and laws about our own country as well. To be honest, I think we, being the normal people, we do not look at the rights and duties of the disabled people, and that's why we are still being in 21st century. We are at the almost end of the 21st century, but we are still lacking in digitalizations in the context of disabled people. Talking about the census, we are still lacking on that. as per the census 11, we have the data of the population of disability in Nepal. That's more than 5 lakhs. That's the data published on June 2018, and currently we are in 2022. So this may have increased, may have decreased, which we are still unaware of. But staying on our own position, on our site, we all, being a human, need to think about others, whether we are disabled or whether we are able in everything. Everybody is perfect in one and another. So that's why we need to think about others as well. Not elongating the sessions, we have a participant named as Dandi Serpa, who has been working in the Center for Disabled Children Assistant for about 20 years. I would like to welcome her to share her experience and making all us aware about how her experience for 20 years of working with disabled sectors has been. I would like to welcome Dandi Serpa to express a little bit of her experience. Thank you.
मिल्छ गर्दिनु अनम्युट छ सर एनडी शर्मा सर अनम्युट छ हजुरको
हजुरले म्युट गरिराख्नु भएछ कृपया अनम्युट गरिदिनु होला अहिलेको केही नि सुनेको छैन I think there has been a technical error as we couldn't hear Dandiji or I think there has been a technical problems. So during this time, I would like our technical team to play the video, which has been sent by Sadi, as he couldn't be physically able to join the Zoom sessions. He is our accessibility strategy and technology specialist. So I would like the technical team to play his video, which he has recorded and send it to us regarding this. Oh, I think, okay.
Hi, my name is Shadi Abu Zahra. I'm the Accessibility Strategy and Technology Specialist at W3C, the World Wide Web Consortium. And today, I'd like to tell you about web accessibility. The web is for many people an essential part of daily life, at work, at home, and on the road. Web accessibility means that people with disabilities can use the web equally. For example, somebody who cannot use their arms and uses a mouse stick to type, or someone who cannot hear well and uses captions to watch videos, or someone who cannot see well and uses a screen reader to read aloud what's on the screen. Accessibility has many benefits. For example, captions benefit anyone in a loud or in a quiet environment, and good color contrast works better when there is glare. Also, people with age-related impairments, such as reduced dexterity, benefit. In fact, everyone has a better user experience with an improved layout and design. A lot of accessibility can be built into the underlying code of websites and applications. Web technologies from W3C, such as HTML, provide support for many accessibility features. For example, features to provide text alternatives for images, which are read aloud by screen readers and also used by search engines. Also, headings, labels, and other code supports accessibility and improves the quality overall. Good authoring tools, such as wikis, content management systems, and code editors, help create accessible code, either automatically or with input from the author. Also, web browsers, media players, and apps need to support accessibility features. W3C provides standards to help make the web accessible, which are internationally recognized by governments and businesses. Most well-known is the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, WCAG. WCAG is also ISO standard 40500 and adopted in the European standard called EN 301549. It is built around 4 core principles. First, perceivable. For example, so people can see the content or hear it. Operable, for example, so people can use the computer by typing or by voice. Understandable, for example, so people get clear and simple language. And robust, so people can use different assistive technologies. Besides WCAG, W3C also provides the Authoring Tool Accessibility Guidelines, ATAG, which defines requirements for content management systems, code editors, and other software. And the User Agent Accessibility Guidelines, UAAG, defines requirements for web browsers and media players. There are over 1 billion people with disabilities, or around 15 to 20% of the population. The UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities defines access to information, including the web, as a human right. Most countries around the world have ratified this UN Convention, and several have adopted binding policies too. Yet, regardless of any laws and regulations, implementing the accessibility standards is essential for people with disabilities and useful for all. For more information on web accessibility, visit w3.org/WAI.
Thank you, the technical team, for playing the video of Sadi. And he also explained what he has been working on and what W3C and WAI means. It's a very short video where he brief about W3C. And yeah, so we need to work on it. It's not that easy to get through it just through a video. So he has also given the link from where we can go through it and know more about W3C. And yes, now I would like to hand over the floor to Dandy Sarpaju for his valuable speech. Thank you.
Namaste and good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Internet Foundation Nepal and holding Uh, I would like to share some major issue of our Nepalese society recording and feasibility visit has been. I have been visit and developed country like Europe. I have been visit a lot of country in Europe where the facility get the people with a disability. And in this forum, I would like to share our Nepalese government, or I would like to say globally, the Asian country like Nepal, Bangladesh, and India and Pakistan. Bangladesh going to improving their accessibility according to the disability. India going to little bit uh, the major place like Mumbai, Delhi, and other access. So I'm talking about Nepal. We need really important support for the accessibility, which is I saw the video just before my session. Of course, there is very important about internet, but our problem in our Nepalese society, my Nepal is firstly geographically this is very difficult country where there are very hilly and mountain and very difficult geographically problem. And the second part of the disability sector, Nepal government is not, how we can say they don't have any knowledge according the population of the disability sector and disability society. So my concern is we have been just finish our local government. That means local government election is finished. So newly we are going to taking chair of the Nepal local government should care about the disability society and disability sector to accessibility and mobility. So my organization going to take action for the action and mobility access. My name is Dendi Sherpa. I'm my social organization name is Center for Disabled Children Assistant. I'm working for just children with a differently able children with a disability. But since 2009, I'm going to distributing a wheelchair for the community of the disability sector. But in our Nepalese society, there's a big problem of the people and society with the disability sector. So that we need convince of the local government, province government, and central government need to be take the responsibility about this. And also disability people can be work in a government office. They have a educated, they are the educated, they have a skill, they have a certain skill. So we like to request our government from this our forum, because Nepal Internet Foundation have a really good access to be sending this message to all the local government, because of our society is not concerned about the disability. So we will like to make a sure for that our society should be taken a responsibility for the people with the differently able. Differently able people are have a skill as a normal person, except they need accessibility or mobility, access, government office, hospital, or even though the road access. Today, our Nepal, even I'm living just nearby the capital of the Kathmandu, but there's no wheelchair access. There's no disability friendly environment. So this is the most important, and this is the most we are talking accessibility. What does mean the accessibility? Accessibility means I'm a wheelchair. I would like to go to a restaurant, but there's no restaurant for wheelchair friendly. I would like to go in my municipality, or I would like to go my ward office, but there's no wheelchair friendly. So how we can survive the government facility? So that means my opinion is the first priority, accessibility to wheelchair friendly environment, wheelchair friendly society, wheelchair friendly community, wheelchair friendly environment. This is my topic, and I'm not a big graduated. I'm working, listening and learning myself. So my organization is try to work for better future of Nepalese society for the disabled people, and I'm hoping I would like to having your advice and your support for developing sector in Nepalese society. Thank you so much. Hopefully, uh, I'm requesting all of you, and I would like to thanks again for Internet Foundation Nepal and Worlding. Thanks again. for joining this meeting. Thank you so much. This much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experience during your journey while facilitating the disabled people and also helping the country or your surrounding through physical needs or as well as emotional support. I hope everyone has the heart as you have for helping the people who are in need, whether by infrastructural help or by emotional help. Any help is greater than no help. Yes. So moving on towards experience sharing as well, we have Rama Dahal as Rama Dhagal, sorry, as the Digital Nepal, which was established in 1993. 1993, and it works for the and it works for the advocates of the rights of the disabled people. I would like to give the platform to Ms. Rama Dhagal ji so that she can share her experience in a very short time as we have run out of our schedule at the moment. So I would like to request Ramaji to share her experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lipsaji, and I'm so sorry I was a little late. Because I was in the meeting for the with the Ministry of Education and all the partner organizations, so that's the reason I was late. And but I'm lucky that I could join, although it is late. I don't know who else are here, but I would like to greetings all, that namaste, and it's a great pleasure to be the part of this program. Thank you, Biroji. That's yes, I think tomorrow is the Global Accessibility Day, or today.
It's today, ma'am.
Okay, it's today. So I would like to say happy access or Global Accessibility Day, and which is very much important for us, for especially for people with disability. And our organization, as Lipsa mentioned about that, our organization was established in 1993. It means in 2050. And it's an umbrella organization, and I'm the vice chair of that organization. And it's a National Federation of the Disabled Nepal. And from its birth, that it is doing that, we especially work in 4 areas like awareness raising, capacity building, networking, collaboration, and that things we do. So that's and in advocacy level, that we have been doing lots of advocacy on the cases of accessibility. And it, as maybe already mentioned about that, we have the policies and all these things, but we have guidelines and we have building code and all these things, but it is really very hard, a very tough job to advocate the government because of the fragile situation at that time. And we don't have, like, that to say that good government system. So that's every time we have to go to ministry, and then we have to do lots of advocacy why we need accessible, why always we are talk about the accessibility. So we have to also, we all OPDs, organization of person with disability, also have to understand what is our disability and why we need the accessibility. So what are the difference between accessibility things and why the government also have categorized in 10 categories of disability. So it doesn't mean that if we have a ramp that is accessible, accessible, but in one way it is accessible for the wheelchair user, but the other hand that for the other type of disability. So we have to very much take care. We have to know about the accessible, what really means to the other group of disability also. So if we talk about the accessibility, like for the wheelchair user people or the physical people, the first thing is mobility. Is of course that we need a ramp, we need a bar, and we need accessible toilet and all these things. But we also think about that. I would like to share about my experience that when we visited Philippines, and I saw that every big or department store, there was a logo of wheelchair and there was a ramp. First they built the ramp and they put the logo of wheelchair. So that and it was like they put the chain, so it means that the only that wheelchair user can go through that ramp. So it doesn't mean that only people with disability has to walk on that, but we need all people who are living in the community. We should work together. So that's why we now talk about the universal design. So if we talk about infrastructure and all this, and another thing is very, very important is ICT. That's the information communication technology. And if we talk about for the blind person, they need this type of that's the internet system, and then new technology. It's really very help us, like we all can use the Facebook, Twitter, and everything. And because of the corona, people used to sit in the Zoom, they learn how to use the Zoom and all these things. And it is really, really very fruitful for the people with disability. If we have a severe disability also, they can sit in the room and they can chat with a friend, globally. So that's really, really very good thing. And for the deaf people, we need a sign language interpreter, or we need a captioning so that the people can understand what there is going on. And another thing is for the severe disability, it's really, really very tough thing. Like the people keep the information in their website, like telecom or other private label company. They put the information in the website, but is that accessible for all people who are living in Nepal? So that's thing we have to really very, very much think about it. So there is a easy to read version so that all people can read it. Although the intellectual disability, although the deafblind people, they can also know the information what's going on. So that's thing we have to think about it. And yearly we are celebrating Global Accessibility Day, but that we do the program with federation also. Sometimes we do awareness, but we have to really very much talk about what's going on, what are the implementation, all these things. So whether that the telecom website is accessible to all people with disability, or all the people who are living in the remote area, is that accessible, is that language accessible in the rural areas. So that's the thing we have to very much think about it, and we should start to work on it. And it's really, really because that guideline also our infrastructure and communication guideline also help to how to, if we are going to build a new building, construct a new building, our government is going to construct a new building. So what are the sizes and how we can make the universal design within that construction. So that things we have to very much apply that. And from since 1993 till 2022, we are doing advocacy with the help of member organization. We have more than 400 member organization all over our Nepal. So and very few people know about this Global Accessible Day because that's I think that there was one organization called National Physical Association. So they started to work on, because they first work on the accessibility part. So maybe 2-3 years ago they celebrated this program. So that's I became to know, and this is the third time that I'm participating in the program. So this type of awareness, not only the day that occasion day, but we have to talk about the accessibility in our that's daily life. So that's thing. And thank you so much that if you need any kind of help what we should do, because that's Biroji organization is also one of the member organization of NFTN. So that's why if we could go together, if organization need like some awareness program, or we can do jointly, we are ready. That's the thing. And thank you so much for giving the space to share my experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramaji. हजुरले आफ्नो संस्थाको बारेमा छोटो समयमै धेरै कुरा विस्तृत गरिदिनु भएकोमा धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। हजुरहरूको सानो सहयोगले अरूहरूलाई ठुलो राहत मिल्नेछ र आशा गर्दछु हजुरहरूको यस्तै सहयोग जुन 1993 बाट चलिरहेको छ, आगामी वर्षमा पनि यसलाई अझै साथ दिँदै अन्य जनता अर्थात् नेपाल इन्टरनेट फाउन्डेसनले पनि साथ दिन सकून् र यसरी नै हाम्रो दाजुभाइ दिदीबहिनी जो चाहिँ डिजेबल पिपलहरू हुनुहुन्छ उहाँहरूलाई पनि हामीले साथ र सहयोग गर्न सकौँ। हजुर, कार्यक्रमलाई धेरै नलम्बाउँदै हामीसँग we have Gunila as an expert on this sector. So I would like to open the platform for the question answer sessions, where you can like directly ask the question raising your hands, or you can also send the message on the inbox, on the chat box, so that we can convey the questions to Gunila and give the answers for all your questions regarding to the Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Thank you. So I will be opening the floor for about 10 minutes for the questions, and remaining will be remaining 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, we'll be answering the sessions, and afterwards we'll be doing the closing sessions. So yeah, the floor is open, everyone. So if you have any questions, please raise a hand so that our experts can give you the solutions or second answers your problems. We have Gunila, the chair of Internet Society Accessibility Special Interest Group. So yes. So yeah, we have a question from Dendi Serpa. I would like to give the platform to Dendi. So
Namaste, and again, this is my question. All the international organization, how can they invest in our Nepali society for the betterment of the disability sector? We are talking today. Of course, I'm really happy, and I'm very appreciate to the Nepal Internet Foundation. But how can we evaluate, because this problem will be solved by the local government. Local government is the most important part of the accessibility. And I know that I have been visit half of the world. I know. I have been visited many places of country where the disability sector have got the facility, and government, even one child born from the mothers, that day government taking the responsibility about that child till that date. मैले भन्न खोजेको एउटा बच्चा आमाको कोखबाट अपाङ्गता भएर जन्मिन्छ, तर त्यो बच्चाको जिम्मेवारी चाहिँ सरकारले लिन्छ। तर हाम्रो नेपालमा किन, हाम्रो एसियामा किन सरकारले त्यो जिम्मेवारी लिँदैन? That is my question. Why policy is fake? And मैले भन्नु खोजेको चाहिँ आज निर्वाचन भर्खरै हामी निर्वाचित भएको जनप्रतिनिधिहरूलाई म यो सन्देश अथवा तपाईहरुको इन्टरनेट फाउन्डेसनले यो जनप्रतिनिधि हरेक गाउँपालिका र हरेक नगरपालिकालाई यो कुरा तपाईहरुले मेसेज पठाउनु पर्यो। That is the responsibility of the local government. Infrastructure, accessibility भनेको के? Accessibility भनेको के? दृष्टिहीनहरूलाई स्कुल चाहियो, शारीरिक अपाङ्ग भएको मान्छेलाई स्कुलमा पढ्न चाहियो। आज हाम्रो नेपालको I'm talking about the child born with differently able. I will like to request, they have a rights.
Yes, Dani sir, I think I got you. मैले तपाईको क्वेशन बुझे जस्तो छ। म उहाँलाई गुनिला जीलाई इंग्लिशमा ट्रान्सलेट गरेर I hope I'll be translating the questions to Gunila ji. Yes, because it's already midnight over in Australia at the moment, so that's why. So Gunila, so what
लिपसा जी,
हजुर
मैले पनि क्वेशन राखे भने तपाईलाई इजी होला एकैचोटी गर्नलाई। Yes, I would like to ask Gunila, because she's accessibility expert, so I would like to know that she's from Australia, so is there any good example so that we can replicate to Nepal to do advocacy with the government at the all type of disability, and they can access to the information, or they can she can share the good example that how can we do the advocacy to the government for the accessibility. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramaji. Is there any more questions so that I can hand over the floor to Gunila and she can give the answer at the same time? I don't think there is any more questions at the moment, so we can take afterwards. So yeah, Gunila, we have two questions. So being more specific, one was our Ramaji wants to know how to know about Australia, to give an example regarding Australia, how we can replicate over here regarding the accessibility for the disabled people. That's one, and the other is how we can emphasize the government to take the responsibility after the birth of a disabled child. So as we are lacking it in our country, so that's the other other questions. So I would like you to give the answer in really quick and short. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I will try to be fairly general because I think it's difficult to answer one question. I'm going to concentrate on digital accessibility, and as an advocate over many tens of years, I know that to make change takes a long time, and we have to be patient, we have to be stubborn, we have to keep on going. We might win small advances, and we can build on those. And it's important to have alliances. So I think I heard from Ramadakal about 400 member organizations or members, and to bring people and organizations together, that's a stronger voice to government to try and make change. And also when it comes to building alliances, it's not just building alliances within the disability sector, but reaching out to other sectors. And here we have the Nepal Internet Foundation, who is working on inclusion on a number of different levels, and working together. So working between internet experts in Nepal and disability organizations. And it's a matter of finding champions who support you in the internet community, who might have influence in the government. So it's doing that person-to-person networking, building those alliances, seeing how you can influence. And it's not easy, it takes time. And I was also asked about examples from Australia. It takes time in Australia, a long time. And one of the things is there's an organization in Australia that represents consumers to advocate to government and to industry and regulatory bodies, not only about accessibility, but all sorts of consumer issues. And a part of that is accessibility. But the funding for that organization comes from government regulation that's part of the Telecommunications Act. And in Australia, we also have a Disability Discrimination Act. So there are layers of legislation and regulation to help. And that doesn't mean it's easy. People have to assert themselves, to be strong, to push for change. But in a general sense, I would say to build those alliances, networks, and so on, I think makes a big difference. And thank you, Ramadakal, for all your details. That is good. And in Nepal, for example, we hope that there will be opportunities in future to do more disability leadership training in internet accessibility, if there's funding from an Asian funding organization. So we will see where we will go with that and reconnect in a number of ways. So I'm not I'm not giving you easy answers because there aren't any easy solutions. It takes time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Gunilla, for a very short and detailed answer. As we have a proverb, it's called "slow and steady wins the race."
Yes.
I think that's what you mean. Like you answered it. So जुनै पनि कुनै पनि काम कुरा गर्नको लागि हामीसँग धैर्यता भन्ने कुरा हुनै पर्छ र दृढ संकल्प. So we to accomplish any target, we need to have patience and determinations, as everything takes time, and we need to have lots and lots of patience within us. Not only patience work, but also determination is the thing that we need to have to reach to our target. हजुर, यही धैर्यता र दृढ दृढ संकल्प हुनुपर्ने छ हामीसँग कुनै पनि चाहे त्यो आफ्नै please let me know if there is any disturbance from my internet connections. So yeah, continuing. So yes, I think यो यति छोटो प्रोभर्ब स्लो एन्ड स्टेडी विन्स द रेस भन्ने यति प्रोभर्बले नै हजुरहरूले बुझिसक्नु भएको छ कि हामीमा हुनुपर्ने भनेको दृढता, पेशेन्स र दृढता, डिटर्मिनेसन र धैर्यता, पेशेन्स हुनुपर्ने छ कुनै पनि एउटा टार्गेटमा पुग्नको लागि. हजुर, हामी सबैजना एकै उद्देश्य लिएर हिँडेको छौं र त्यसको लागि सबैजना एक अर्कासँग हातेमालो गरी नै एक अर्कालाई साथ सहयोग दिँदै आफ्नो उद्देश्य लक्ष्यमा एक न एक दिन पुग्ने नै छौं भन्ने आशा गर्दछु. I hope I would also like to open the platform for the questions. Please let me know if there's any questions. So I'll be taking the last one as it's quite late. So I don't think there is any more questions. If there is any questions, please let us. You can connect us in Nepal Internet Foundation through Nepal Internet Foundation websites, Facebook, as Bikram Shrestha is there to there, and me, Lipasa Shrestha, as the General Secretary, and the other members of Nepal Internet Foundation are always there to help you out if you have any problems related this or anything. We are really glad so that we can help you out there. Moving on to the closing sessions. Firstly, I would like to thank all the participants and our special expertise guest, Gunilla, our former minister, Ganesh Shah, and the other people from different organizations, as well as individual organizations who have here to help us to make the program success. For the closing remarks, I would like to hand over the platform to our Birod Khateoraju, who is the president of Disabled Care Nepal, which was established on 2019 for the empowerment of people with disability and their families for their rights. So yes, I would like to hand over the floor to Mr. Birodji, and I would like to sign off for today. Good night for everyone. Thank you. Translating in Nepali as well. हजुर, अबको यो क्लोजिङ सेसनको लागि म विरोध खतिवडा ज्यूलाई यो उहाँको छोटो क्लोजिङ मन्तव्य समापन गरिदिन हुनको लागि आग्रह गर्दछु. यति भन्दै म लिपासा श्रेष्ठ आजको सेसन्स ग्लोबल एक्सेसिबिलिटी अवेयरनेस डे को कार्यक्रम पहिलो नेपालमा आयोजना भएको पहिलो कार्यक्रम नेपाल इन्टरनेट फाउन्डेसनबाट यही आफ्नो मन्तव्य यही टुङ्गाई आजको लागि यही साइन गर्दैछु र the floor goes to Biroji. Please technical team, please let him know as well. Thank you. Sorry, I think, sorry, there has been a little bit of technical error in Biroji's internet. So I would like to give the floor to Mr. Vikram Shrestha. हजुर हाम्रो बिरोजीको थोरै टेक्निकल एरर भएको भएर अहिलेको लागि हालको लागि यो प्लेटफर्म म हाम्रो विक्रम श्रेष्ठज्यूलाई हस्तान्तरण गर्न गइरहेको छु धन्यवाद
Thank you very much Dipasa, thank you everyone for being here. Definitely आजको दिन हामीले यो सेलिब्रेट गर्दैछौँ वर्ल्डमा ग्लोबल एक्सेसिबिलिटी डे भनेर चाहिँ जुन मनाउँदैछौँ र हामी नेपालमा पनि यो पहिलोपल्ट हामीले मनाउँदैछौँ म स्पेशली I would like to thank Gunela for giving me the lead to this platform and for this information because she had sent me the email regarding this the event globally is going to celebrate this event. So that's why we had just within 2 days we had organized this event. I mean this webinar, Global Accessibility Awareness Day. And this is really challenging and it's very difficult us to manage. And I would like to thank everyone who had been participating here from the beginning. The Disable Care Nepal को हाम्रो विनोद जी पनि यही हुनुहुन्छ probably के टेक्निकल इश्यूज जस्तो देखिन्छ म उहाँलाई पनि धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु Disable Care नेपालले पनि यो जुन प्रोग्राममा हामी जोइन्टली जुन यो कार्यक्रम गर्यौं र उहाँले पनि धेरै एफोर्ट लगाउनु भएको छ र म उहाँलाई पनि धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु यो कार्यक्रमले हामीले खाली एउटा इनिशिएट जसरी अघि रमा ढकाल जी हुनुहुन्छ उहाँ चाहिँ भाइस प्रेसिडेन्ट अफ यो हाम्रो एसोसिएसन अब फेडरेसन भनिन्छ हैन अब यो टोटल नेपाल अधिराज्य भरि भएको संस्थाको चाहिँ फेडरेसनको रूपमा उहाँले कन्ट्रिब्युट गर्नुभएको छ उहाँसँग मैले धेरै अगाडिदेखि डिफरेन्ट यो इभेन्टहरुमा मेरो भेटघाट पनि भइरहेको थियो र मैले स्पेशली उहाँलाई रिक्वेस्ट पनि बिरोजीलाई रिक्वेस्ट पनि गरे उहाँ एकदम एनर्जेटिक हुनुहुन्छ र उहाँलाई इन्भाइट पनि गरौँ भनेर र यो अहिले उहाँलाई पनि म धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु र डेनी शेर्पा जीलाई पनि धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु र हाम्रो पूर्व मिनिस्ट्री गणेश शाह सर पनि हुनुहुन्छ म उहाँलाई पनि एकदमै छोटो समयमा एक्सेप्ट गरेर यो जुन इभेन्ट हामीले सञ्चालन गर्न पायौं र त्यसको लागि पनि म धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु र ओभरअल नेपाल इन्टरनेट फाउन्डेसनको ब्याकग्राउन्डमा काम गर्ने विकास खत्री हुनुहुन्छ त्यसै गरेर सम्झना हुनुहुन्छ त्यसै गरेर कल्पना लिपासा र इन्टायर नेपाल इन्टरनेट फाउन्डेसनको टिमलाई पनि म धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु र अहिले यो जुन प्लेटफर्म प्रोभाइड गरिरहेको छ हामीलाई यो जुन प्रोभाइड गर्ने संस्था चाहिँ हाम्रो नेपाल रिसर्च एजुकेसन सेन्टरले जुन प्रोभाइड गरिरहेको छ त्यसको लागि पनि म धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु ओभरअल विनका केही अग्रजहरू हुनुहुन्छ यहाँ केही विशिष्ट व्यक्तिहरू पनि हुनुहुन्छ वुमन एन्टरप्रेन्योर एसोसिएसन अफ नेपाल का चाहिँ यहाँ केही व्यक्तित्वहरू हामी यहाँ देख्न सक्छौं उहाँलाई पनि म धेरै धन्यवाद दिन्छु म धेरै धन्यवादको पात्र चाहिँ स्पेशली म गुनेलालाई दिन्छु र यो भन्दै आजको कार्यक्रम छोटो गर्न खोजिदा गर्दै पनि हामीले धेरै लामो गर्न गएको छौं र स्पेशली थ्यांक्स टु एभ्रीवन हु ह्याड रियली कन्ट्रिब्युटिङ एन्ड एकदमै प्यासनको हिसाबमा यहाँ सुन्नु भएको छ र केही कुराहरू जान्नुभयो बुझ्नुभयो र भोलि गएर हामी सहकार्य गरेर अगाडि जान सक्ने वातावरण बनेको कारणले गर्दाखेरि म सबैलाई धन्यवाद एकमुष्ट दिँदै यहाँबाट बिदा हुन चाहन्छु थ्यांक यू एभ्रीवन फर बिङ हियर एन्ड होप टु सी यु अगेन थ्यांक यू
Thank you, Vikramji. Good night, namaste. Thank you so much, Gunela. It's midnight, I think, in Australia. Good night. Very wait,
Thank you very much.